Sup, everybody. Um, so the reason I'm doing this video, I don't know. I just felt like telling my listeners where my headspace is as far as how I'm approaching my art, my music. I have an album coming. I've been producing a lot. Um, my mom passed on the 9th of January, and I definitely became very unproductive for probably a week straight. I probably laid right in this fucking spot for a week. And I found it hard to be creative. All I could think about is my mom, the memories, how much I miss her, wanting her back, and just the overall, you know, emotional context of the situation. But getting back into it, I find myself getting back to my roots, per se. I started making music at 10 years old. And I started as a rapper. My main goal was hip hop, rapping, doing the craft. My favorite artists were probably, and still to this day, people like Eminem, Idea, Sadistic. I just did a song with Sadistic, Sculpture. Fucking dream come true. It was fucking awesome. Um, who else? I love DMX. I love Nas. I love D Block, Dipset, Cool G Rap, Method Man, Redman, Wu Tang overall. They're just fucking hard. If you don't have them somewhere in your top 20 or some shit, I don't know what to say to you. But yeah, I just love the art of rapping. It's rhythm and poetry. It's not just a bunch of words mashed together with no concept or meaning and purpose. I started out writing poetry, but I remember being 7 years old and looking up at the screen and seeing Biggie Smalls hearing what was the song? It was Hypnotic. And it's like, damn, this is like the poetry that my kindergarten teacher taught me, but he's rhyming the whole time. And I found that to be pretty fucking awesome. So that instantly became my desire. It's like, I want to do this. I want to rap my ass off. I want to put these words together in a very technically skilled fashion, but in song format, because, songwriting is a whole monster in and of itself. But yeah, so I began as a rapper, but I loved rock music, alternative music. I think the first bands I heard was like Korn, Metallica, Megadeth, Red Hot Chili Peppers. I don't think I said them. Deftones. And I loved the art of singing too. My mom would play soul and R&B all throughout the house, and she sang herself. She actually has a bunch of cassettes of her singing, and she would, like, I forget how she explained how she did this, but it was fucking crazy. I remember being 5 years old, and she would she would sit me down, put the karaoke near us, and it would sound like a whole group, but it was just her. So she was, overdubbing on the tape and making it sound like a whole fucking group, but it was just her, one person. And this was a time where there wasn't like digital audio stations where, you got one track with the beat and then lead vocal, overdubs, ad libs. She did all that on the tape. And I love that. Like singing, my whole family sings. And I didn't know I could sing up until I was maybe 16, 15. So I began trying to perfect that and, blend the worlds, blend the rap with the singing. And I remember hearing Kid Cudi and hearing him do it perfectly. And that kind of gave me a blueprint of how I wanted to do this shit, but of course expand it beyond because I love rock, I love metal, I love alternative, I love screamo, I love black metal, I love all that shit. But yeah, I'm in this place where I want to rap more just because that's where I come from. And my goal overall is to show the world or let the world decide that I'm one of the greatest rappers to ever pick up a microphone or write a lyric. And I also want to be one of the greatest singers the world has ever seen. Two very, usually you got to pick one or the other, but I want to do both. And a lot of I produce all my records, my solo albums. I engineer them all. I want to master every craft and be recognized as one of the greats in each field. It's a bit of a task, but I've been doing this for almost 17 years, so I feel like I'm getting there. And I will get there. And it's always the people who decide. I want to I don't want to brag and boast and tell people like, yo, I'm good at this. I'm great at this. Like, I want the world to decide because the artist is nothing without the listeners and the fans. You guys set the precedence. Yeah. So, random video. Oh, there was a point I had with that. Um, yeah. Eminem is probably my number one favorite rapper of all time. And that's kind of why I did the Revenge track that I just put out. It's kind of like an ode to him. I know there's a lot of artists who do the Eminem influenced songs, and well, some people base their whole career off of trying to sound like him, but I found his style to be very unique when he first came out. The flow, I haven't heard anyone do that flow as perfect as him since, Slim Shady LP, Marshall Mathers LP. So Revenge on Spotify, Apple Music, all that shit. Notebook, period, Revenge. Look it up. uh yeah, that's what that song is about. It's about paying homage, and he taught me how to let dark thoughts out in a creative but humorous and entertaining way. And I haven't done that so much until now. So, yeah. And I think I'd say my top favorite singers of all time that I'm highly influenced by and try to reach their level when I'm singing. Probably Michael Jackson, The Weeknd. I know he's a newer artist, but he's a fucking icon now. He's up there to me. Uh, Chino Moreno, lead singer of Deftones. I love Jonathan Davis from Korn. He's someone who inspires me a lot. There's a bunch others, but yeah, man, I just want to be great. It's a lot on my plate to try and execute, but I hope I do so, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So thanks a lot. Peace.
Lately I don't have a care in the world. When it's on jobs it'll probably embarrass my girl. Like when I hit a rock concert, mixed brown liquor and clear. When to sit in my chair, get up and cheer, but had nowhere I could hurl. So I did it next to the audience, went back to the lawn and watched a mosh pit where I vomited.